Today on Morning Drive, Dustin Johnson, Ricky Fowler, Jordan Spieth, and Justin Thomas headline the field this week in Hawaii. Our insider Tim Rosenfort will tell you what these top players have been focusing on to ensure they start strong this year.
I understand that I'm going to be held to maybe a higher standard, and it definitely beats the alternative of having an average year last year and nobody caring.
Plus, for those of you enduring record low temps, our travel expert Matt Janella will take you on a journey to Maui to show you where to stay, where to play, and what adventures await as you plan your escape from the winter cold. And we are excited to welcome a new member to the Golf Channel team. Sean Foley will be in studio to tell you about his new role and where you'll be seeing him. We'll get his take on the year ahead for Tiger Woods and also find out what his star player Justin Rose has been working on over the holiday break. Don't miss all that and more today, January 3rd, 2018. Inside Studio AP, I'm David Hack alongside the big-timer Charlie Reimer, a PGA Tour winner, and Robert Damron. A rumor going around that the big-timers playing golf today.
Yep. Scheduled to play in a Pro-Am over at the Country Club of Orlando later today, but like most of the East Coast, the weather not so good in Orlando. It's supposed to be 45, rainy and windy. I'm sort of hoping maybe we just have a long lunch and look out the window at that golf course.
I wisely backed out of that outing a couple days ago. Yeah,
why?
I was slated to play, and yeah, forecast kind of scared me off a little bit. But
wise
not
decision for Damron. That's kind of a rarity. Can we be honest?
It had to happen eventually. Just the odds, sheer odds, dictated that I made a good decision.
Good luck.
Yeah.
Bundle up today, big time.
We'll be bundled up.
Hey, let's say good morning to Lauren Thompson. She's standing by. How are you, LT?
Good morning, guys. Charlie Reimer, big season ahead. He's going to be making his debut on the PGA Tour Champions. Weather, Charlie, you can't control. You need to be getting out there. We're going to tell you how to play better golf in cold weather later on, but we're also going to be covering your golf New Year's resolutions. We were doing this yesterday on the show. We're going to keep it going strong. Scott, you've been watching at home and you said to break 80 sounds like something that you've done before. Didn't do it in 2017 for the first time in years. Also this from Hubert. He says to be more patient and positive with my thoughts during a round, all about attitude. Love that, something we should all be working on. But this from Chris. Now she says her husband needs to slow down his swing. She suggested the rhythm of Seve Ballesteros, but he's more like Tom Kite. Two World Golf Hall of Famers. And you know what, Chris? We're going to stack them up side by side later in the show so we can look at these differences and see maybe where he's going wrong and what could work better for his game. All that and more. Keep these responses going strong as we get you back to Damon.
All right, LT, what is happening now? How about Dustin Johnson, Jordan Spieth, and Justin Thomas? They're the headliners in the field at the Century Tournament of Champions. It begins tomorrow on Golf Channel. I can't wait to see those beautiful pictures, the greens and blues of Maui. Now, these Americans, 1, 2, and 3 in the official World Golf ranking. They're all major champs, and they are all past champions at Kapalua. DJ winning in 2013, Spieth in 2016, and you see Justin Thomas in 2017. In fact, Americans have won 7 straight years at Kapalua. The tournament had been won by non-Americans the previous 9 editions. For more, let's say aloha to Todd Lewis.
Well, Damon, the top 3 players in the world all on the golf course behind me on Tuesday, talking about Dustin Johnson, Jordan Spieth, and Justin Thomas. All 3 of those players arriving in Hawaii late last week. Dustin Johnson came out early, played full 18 holes, and then headed back to his hotel to enjoy Maui. As for Justin Thomas and Jordan Spieth, they played alongside Jason Duffner, just a 9-hole practice round on Tuesday. And Jordan Spieth met with the media as well. He did confirm that he is indeed engaged. He also talked about the fact that he had some conversations with Justin Thomas in regards to what to expect in 2018. Now, if you remember, in 2015, Jordan had a phenomenal year, won 5 times, 2 major championships, was the PGA Tour Player of the Year. In 2017, Justin Thomas was the PGA Tour Player of the Year, also won 5 times, also won a major championship. Justin reached out to Jordan to talk about how to manage those expectations and how to deal with the pressure externally and internally as he enters a new year coming off a great year. And Justin told me that he doesn't plan to change anything about his character, and he's going to try to remain grounded and balanced. That is a big key for him. In regards to this golf course, well, it's a fantastic golf course, but it's also a bit of a soft golf course as well. A very wet December, so the ball not rolling some 30, 40, 50 yards off the tee that we are accustomed to seeing, but not much rain in the forecast the rest of the weekend. It's supposed to be breezy, so the course is likely to dry out as well. Damon, we send it back to you in Studio AP.
All right, Todd, 34 winners from 2017, all in this field. Kapalua, beautiful pictures, great field. Charlie, you're getting misty just as I mentioned this to you. What's your reaction with Todd?
I've been very fortunate to spend a lot of time at Kapalua. And I'm going to tell you, the biggest challenge of that golf course is paying attention to the golf course. Because the images that we'll show the world over these next 5 days are really phenomenal. We're surrounded by them right here in studio. You warm up down in a ravine, and as soon as you come out of that ravine where the practice area is, every hole absolutely takes your breath away. And in all honesty, when you go play a golf course like that, if you're serious, like these guys have to be about shooting a good score, you almost have to keep the bill of your cap down to make sure you don't get caught up in the beauty of the place that you're in. It's really hard to focus on the golf course.
Have you ever seen another course where you can whale watch and play golf at the exact same time? Because you can see these humpback whales going out and the spurts going.
From every hole.
From almost every hole, absolutely.
Amazing place.
It is a thing of beauty, but pretty important tournament they got going out there this week, too. And somebody's going to take home a nice check and an invite to next year's tournament champion.
And the thing that's fun to watch is there's plenty of room out there. So the guys with the big ball off the tee, they got place to hit it. And that makes it interesting to watch.
Also neat that the best players in the world are embracing this tournament again, because let's be honest, there was a segment of time when the likes of Tiger Woods and Phil Mickelson stopped going to Kapalua, but we're seeing, Jordan Spieth and Justin Thomas and DJ, there's no place they'd rather be than Kapalua. We're going to speak to Mark Roffing a little bit later. And
I want to be there too.
Of course, would like to be there as well. Also happening now, yes, the renowned swing instructor Sean Foley is joining Golf Channel as host and analyst. He'll host playing lessons in prime time. He'll be on Golf Central Live from, and he'll have an expanded role with Revolution Golf. He'll also be with us today on Morning Drive. He's had quite the stable of players past and present. He's had some world number ones, some major champions, some players champions, world golf champions, and yes, one guy who encapsulates all of those things, the 14-time major champ in Tiger Woods. So congrats to Sean Foley for joining us at Golf Channel. We're looking forward to his insight. For more, we send it over to Charlie.
All right, Damon. Always thrilled to be joined by my pal Tim Rosefort. I was thinking about it this morning, Tim. I'm 50 now. I've known you since maybe my freshman year in college. So over 30 years, we've been friends. It's been a long time.
You're as ugly as ever, Charlie.
I appreciate you're as bald as ever, too. But we get along just great. Right now, we're going to dig into a couple things. As always, you've got some wonderful notes. We're going to start with Jordan Spieth, some of the work that he's been doing with his instructor, Cameron McCormick. Let's have a look at some putting stats over the last couple of seasons, and maybe that'll give us a hint as to some of the work that they've been doing. You can see in the last 2 seasons, no surprise. Look at the bottom of that first. Putts in the 20 to 25 foot range. He makes really more than just about anybody. First and fourth the last couple of seasons. But from 5 feet, that's outside of 100th. In 2014-15, he was 171st. That gives me an idea maybe where they're focusing with the putting right now, Tim.
Well, Charlie, you're going to like this. They noticed the decline in almost all the putting stats. And so rather than looking at it more from a mechanical standpoint or getting on a green and hitting 200 and 300 putts, they went into what they got into more performance speed work, less laboring on the stroke itself, so that when they got into the season, they were more reactive to the target when they got into what McCormick likes to call the gameplay mode.
Oh, my goodness. I love hearing that. At the father-son, we asked Jack Nicklaus what his philosophy on putting was. He said, putting is speed. It worked for Jack Nicklaus. I'm betting it works for Jordan Spieth as well. Also, they've made a change in the driver shaft. Tell us about that, Tim.
Yeah, they basically were looking for 5% more accuracy and 5 yards longer off the tee. And again, rather than changing the swing and trying to make a wholesale change at this point in his career, they just decided to change shafts. They noted a dramatic difference in the off season by doing it that way. And with the difference that they're seeing, they obviously leads to more confidence, hopefully more fairways hit for Jordan's sake, and just maybe 5 more yards of distance to take him from where he is now to a little bit closer to where DJ is.
There's so much technology out there available to tour players, and you as well. It takes a lot of the guesswork out of it. Maybe you can look into some of this and find a shaft that works a little bit better for you. Give it a shot in the off season, folks. Okay, let's switch gears here a little bit and talk to Justin Thomas. In review, his year last year, absolutely phenomenal. 5 wins on the season, 12 top 10 finishes. Of course, he shot the 59 the first round of the Sony Open, won the FedEx Cup, and was PGA Tour Player of the Year. Tim, when you look at a year like that for a young player, you go, oh, wow, that's really great. But from his point of view, there has to be some pressure on how to repeat or maybe even improve on a big year like that.
We heard him address it yesterday out of Kapalua talking to Jordan about how he dealt with it, and then talking to his dad Mike before they headed over to Hawaii. He was talking about, besides the things they had to clean up in the game, statistically, it was the importance of continuing what got us here in the face of increased responsibilities and distractions. Short order, everybody wants a piece of Justin Thomas now. It's going to be different for him, but as he said in the sound opening the show, it's a nice problem to have. How does he manage it, Charlie? That's the key.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. Also, he's taking advantage of his friendship with Jordan Spieth, maybe bending Jordan's ear a little bit on how to deal with high expectations.
That's what I'm saying, because, you know, he went from a jealousy mode to right there with him mode, basically. He's going to have the same type of attention, maybe even more that Jordan gets this year, which maybe Jordan's going to like, to tell you the truth. But you can only learn from friends and obviously from his father as well.
Well, one of the things in golf that's always been true is when you have a super hot round coming back that next day, it's tough to back it up. In a lot of cases, having a super hot year coming back that next year is difficult to back up as well. Tim, as always, thanks for your thoughts. You're sticking around with us, and later in the show, you got some great stuff I know on Ricky and DJ. We look forward to hearing from you on that as well. But right now, let's go check in with Damon. Damon, what you got for us?
Tell you what, big time, I've got our travel guru, Matt Janela. How are you, bud?
Good morning. Good morning. Doing great.
Understand you have a journey to Maui. We're going to see a little bit later. Give us a tease.
Well, we heard from Mark Rolfing, and have heard over the years that the North Shore of Maui gets a lot of rainfall. I spent a little time on sort of the southwestern tip of Maui, and although the scenery isn't nearly as dramatic as you see up on the North Shore and places like Kapalua's Plantation Course, the weather is a lot better. So a little bit of a safer bet if you're planning a trip to Maui. The southwest coast is something to consider, so we're going to take you there a little later in today's show.
Looking forward to that. January, of course, a time everyone's pressing the reset button, looking at kind of big picture storylines. What's your golf course storyline for 2018?
For me right now, and especially at the start of this year, we talked a little bit about at the end of last year, it's Cool Links in Scotland, Embo, Scotland, right next door to Dornoch. We know that's the home of Donald Ross. We know Royal Dornoch is one of the premier locations in Scotland. Mike Kaiser of Bandon Dunes and Sand Valley and Cabot Links and Cabot Cliffs, he's partnered with Todd Warnock, a guy who's living there in Embo, trying to do all the necessary research into this piece of land that Bill Coore and Ben Crenshaw would ultimately design a course at. Bill Coore, one of the more understated guys in the world, says that this is an absolutely special piece of property. Wow. He's coming off of Cabot Cliffs and Streamsong Red and Sand Valley. He's working on a course at Big Cedar Lodge. He says this would be a premier destination for golf. They've been doing studies, environmental studies there now for 2 years, and they're going to find out at the end of this month whether or not this is a green light. And if it is, we're talking about Coore Crenshaw having redone and restored Pinehurst number 2, the then home of Donald Ross after he made a trip to America in the 1900s. And so for them to go back and then build a course next to the home of Donald Ross, and what that would do for Dornoch as a destination for golfers from America would be huge. Is there room though? I mean, you're talking about one of the most fertile areas in golf
in terms of the richness of the history, the Scottish Highlands in Dornoch, and you can go play Cruden Bay in Aberdeen and Nairn. Is there room for one more great golf course in this part?
Plenty of room. It's a pretty massive expanse, and they would only be using a little portion of this area to create the golf course. You know, Todd Warnick is on record saying that in 10 years they hope to create 250 jobs and $60 million to the local economy, which, as you would imagine, would be pretty significant. Mike Kaiser's originally kind of inspiration for what is Bandon Dunes is knowing that 10,000 American golfers visit Dornoch every year. He thought if 10,000 people visit Dornoch, can I get the people to visit the southwest coast of Oregon? Obviously, that played out to be true. So that's what he's going to try to create that paired destination with Dornoch and Cool Links. And I will be monitoring it. And if it happens, it would be a big, big story.
Great nuggets on Scotland. Looking forward to your journey to Maui. Right now, we send it back to LT.
Yeah, good things to look forward to, according to Matty G's report. But moving into our tee sheet, one of the ways we're hoping to go bigger and better for you in the new year is by bringing on one of the most noted instructors in the game. He's worked with Tiger, Justin Rose, and so many more. You heard it moments ago, Sean Foley, now a Golf Channel host and analyst. He's going to join us live in studio to unleash his plan on what's coming to your TV in 2018. Now, something else we know you have in the plans, a better golf game this year and beyond. But with low temps taking over, our Golf Channel Academy coach is going to spell out literally with the ABCs why this is the time to start the year off strong. And when you find out where he's from, you're going to know why he's the perfect one to give this advice. But if you're looking for an immediate escape from the cold, our travel expert has the cure for that. In fact, you're going to catch him starting a fire. See what I mean soon, as you are going to Maui with Matty G, one heavenly hotspot that brought on a reunion for him and a much-needed awakening of the aloha spirit for you. And Damon Hack, as a man that I know loves a good ski vacation, sun, sand, sinking putts this week, doesn't sound too shabby.
No doubt, LT. The scenery of Maui, Hawaii, these studio scenics are brought to you by Kapalua Golf. Say not like you're at the dentist's office, but like you're on the beach.
We're whale watching. We're whale watching right now. Look for the whales. Jumper.